Let's look at those right now. So let's take now the scenario where the GFS, for example, next week has the center out there, the Euro center right there. Just take this for now. The idea is that no matter what you choose and whether or not it's going to be somewhere in this area, the water here is a lot cooler than it is down here, suggesting that as it moves northward from about 35 degrees latitude on northward, it will likely encounter significantly cooler water that would either allow it to hold its intensity or likely weaken down the road, regardless of anything else happening.
Right. It's not the only ingredient. It's an important one. And when you're talking about a major hurricane versus, a Cat 1 or 2, still a strong force, but a little bit of a good news angle to that.
And that's something we don't really have to forecast, right? Because the water temperatures are going to be there enough to support some weakening if it were to get that far north. Good news here. But we're still dealing with a monster right now, wreaking havoc on parts of the island nation of Puerto Rico.
It's still a Cat 4, and we're starting to. What do you see as this is emerging off of Puerto Rico?
I'm going to be watching for the renewed presentation of the satellite pictures showing perhaps some more deep convection or thunderstorms forming somewhere in that area over the next 6 to 12 hours. If that happens, it could be on its way to re-strengthening at least some of what it lost during its interaction with Puerto Rico.
There's plenty of warm water here.
There is.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. Sure. Right?
And live extended coverage of both Maria and Jose continues all day. Meteorologist Chris Bruin and Alex Wallace are going to have the latest. That's coming up next right here on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Low 67. Chance of rain 80%. Thursday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The wind howling as Hurricane Maria churns across Puerto Rico. This was the scene from Fajardo, Puerto Rico.
Maria, Category 4, bringing with it damaging winds and heavy rains that could lead to flooding. This destructive hurricane is pushing its way to the northern coast of Puerto Rico.
So hi there and welcome. I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And I'm meteorologist Chris Bruin. Hurricane Maria is charging to the northern coast of Puerto Rico. The major hurricane is a Category 4 as it brings destructive winds and flooding to Puerto Rico. And the life-threatening hurricane made landfall in Puerto Rico early this morning.
And it tore roofs off of buildings there in San Juan. You can see that building there. And look at the bottom. You also see some of that water that is also on the streets. Another roof as well, sustaining quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah, and even newer construction buildings, we're seeing damage like roofs and siding being thrown off. And again, that's just on the southeast side of San Juan. But of course, a lot of devastation here across the island. And you're also looking at Carolina, Puerto Rico. This is on the south side of San Juan. A lot of destruction, and look at the leaves pretty much ripped clean off on some of the foliage there. It's sad to see how vibrant the Caribbean islands are, and then after a hurricane it looks like just complete devastation.
Yeah, rough times, no doubt about it. Lots of scenes like this across the island. We do want to now go to our very own Paul Goodloe in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Paul, in the midst of this pretty massive hurricane, a destructive hurricane, how are you faring at this hour?
The wind is still very gusty and quite strong. Still getting hurricane force wind gusts around here in San Juan, but the wind is not nearly as strong as it was earlier this morning. We're been out here since 5 a.m. where the winds were really starting to ramp up. And by maybe the next hour and a half, we actually had to retreat inside. It was too dangerous. Parts of the roof of the hotel we're staying at were coming off. And again, this is newer construction. This hotel is only 2 years old. Again, built with all the latest standards and impact-resistant glass, but the roof was no match for the winds with Maria. Let me show you some of the debris that was falling here. I stepped out of picture for a while. You started seeing these large items flying off and then flying in the wind here. And these are big pieces of styrofoam roofing, so it's not that heavy. But you combine this with the wind, it was flying all over here and dropping behind us. So that was the lighter part of it. So with that in the air, we're like, you know what? That's the roof coming through. We got some structural issues. Too much debris could be coming our way. So we retreated inside into the shelter and for safety. It's a good thing we did, because after that, there are other parts of the roof, the area just below that top part, started coming through. Yes, this stuff is still lighter as well. And then look what was coming through. This is metal, part of the HVAC system, and this part landed in the pool. There's a larger section which landed out here in the parking lot. I think barely missing some of the cars out there as well. Luckily, we actually moved our cars to the Sheridan Hotel's parking lot, which has a parking garage, and out of any harm's way here. So a lot of things you have to do to seek shelter when you have a Category 5 and Category 4 hurricane approach the area. Again, Maria was a 5 overnight and then weakened before landfall just to a 4. We still had a lot of strong wind, still seeing some strong wind, and a lot of heavy rain as well. You might hear that rumble going on. That's the generator here next to me at the hotel. We lost power about 1:30 in the morning, and the generator kicked on. This is one of the few hotels that actually has generator power, which means we have electricity, we have running water, we have a kitchen that's open, so we can actually eat hot food, and which is great for the people staying here at the hotel. The bad thing is there are people staying at this hotel long before Maria came this way, because Irma brushed by this area about a week and a half ago, still packing some 60, 70 mile-per-hour winds. That was still strong enough to do massive damage to this island. There are still people without power because of Irma's pass by to the north, and now there's talk about the majority of the island being without power, and some people might be without electricity for maybe 4 to 6 months, according to the governor and the mayor here in San Juan. So we're still not quite done with Maria. We'll probably have safer conditions to kind of survey the area as we head out towards Thursday. But right now, it's not as bad as it was this morning, but it is still not safe to get out. Just, again, stay in your shelter. Things will slowly improve as we head out towards Thursday. And again, the first time we've had a landfall of a Category 4 hurricane here in Puerto Rico since 1932. So the question is, what happens with Maria?
Okay, y'all. I just wanted to do an update on Maria. Maria is in Puerto Rico right now. It crashed into Puerto Rico at a Category 4. And, you know, it's pretty much devastating the island right now, you know, as we know it. You know, it's a shame. You know, there's so many tragedies going on. We had back-to-back hurricanes. We had Harvey and Irma hit like a week apart in the U.S. And now you had the major earthquake in Mexico yesterday. And today you got Puerto Rico getting torn apart by Maria. It's just so many things going on and happening, and it's all happening so fast, you know? I mean, even my son notices all the changes. He was talking to me about all the changes that he noticed since the eclipse. And, you know, in biblical times, every time an eclipse happened, things changed, you know, and it seems to be coming to pass. And another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, this morning, I couldn't sleep. I actually got up pretty early and I could not sleep. So what I did was I started listening to the Book of Enoch. How many of you listened to that particular book? Do any of you ever read or listen to the Book of Enoch? All right. I'm going to open the door so my cat can leave. Sorry about that, y'all. Come on. You can go downstairs. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get back to what I was saying. Do any of you guys ever get into the Book of Enoch? I see some of you are saying, yes, I never have. You really should check it out. If you never have, yes, you can watch the video. There's a couple of videos where people do like the audio reading of it, or you can download a copy of the PDF online. And there's actually 3 different versions of it. There's the Enoch, the Book of Enoch, and then there's 2nd Enoch and 3rd Enoch. The Hebrew cat. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, we've been talking about the downfall of Esau. And I noticed a couple of people wrote in there, well, the Hispanics are big. You know, when the white people fall, they're going to take over. Now, what I want you all to think about, I want to give you a little food for thought. We know what the prophecy is. The prophecy is, right now we are the tail and your Gentile is the head. There is no prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Cap. There is no prophecy in there that talks about another group rising after the fall of the house of Esau. So you want to be careful about adding and taking away from prophecy, because when you say things like that, you're actually adding a prophecy that's never been written in there. Okay, never. Hi, Chris. So you definitely want to be careful doing that. Number 2, I really don't see that happening. Now, you have to remember, Esau is going to fall before the entire world. Okay, they're going to fall in front of the world. And remember, their fall is going to be pretty horrific. It said things are going to happen to them that we never seen before in this world. So keeping that in mind, when the entire world watched their fall, these other groups are going to be so petrified, they're not going to bother us. You got to think about it. Everybody that have subjugated and enslaved the Hebrews always fell. Just think about it. The Egyptians did it, they fell. The Romans did it, they fell. The Romans never became strong in the world. They once ran the world too. If you read the biblical text, they once ran the world. They never came back into power once they fell. And then now you have America, which is on the decline, and we see the decline in America, right? We all see the decline. So keeping that in mind, remember, it's going to happen very, very fast. I know it seemed like it's dragging to us now because we've been in this shithole for so long and been living out these curses for generations now. So it seems and appears like it's not going to end, but it actually will. It actually will. And when it ends, when they fall, we immediately become the head. There's no break in between. Their fall is our rise. They know this. This is part of the reason why they're acting so crazy. Yeah, but you know, we have to be patient. I know, believe me, Just Glowing, it feels like an eternity. We're all ready. We're all tired. And this is why you have to keep prayed up. But their fall is our rise. There's no break in between. It's not they fall and they get another 3 years. No, The moment they fall, we are back on top. It is no prophecy for Hispanics going on top or anybody else. So you can't think like that. And like I said, when you do, you're adding something to the prophecy that does not exist. And believe me, Esau is going to fall so bad, and it's going to be bloody, it's going to be deadly. And once the other groups on this earth see that, they're not going to mess with us. Trust me, believe me, they're not messing with us no more. Yes, CK, we have to endure to the end. I mean, come on, we've all come this far. You just can't throw in the towel yet. It's hard, and believe me, I get sick of hearing and reading the stories of our people getting gunned down, our kids being mistreated at school. We can't even walk on our 2 feet around in our own neighborhoods without a cop coming up and harassing you over a bunch of nothing. Believe me, I'm sick of the whole thing. But we have to hang in there until the end. I like the book of Enoch because it goes over judgment. That book is all about judgment, the whole thing. So remember, when this is all over, the Most High told us we can do whatever we want with these people. you want to get up and give them a black eye, you'll be able to do it. So you'll be able to do whatever you want. There's not going to be any pity. Remember, when Esau finally falls, there's no pity for them. Nobody on this earth is going to pity them. In fact, as soon as they start whining, everybody's going to tell them they deserve it. There is not going to be anybody running to their rescue. No one. No one. You remember, that's how it's been for us for all of these centuries. So, I know it's hard, but hold your head up. We are at the very, very end of this hellhole. It really is almost over. And you can't lose sight of that. So no more writing Rise of the Hispanics. It's not going to happen. They're not chosen, and they are not appointed to head anything. So don't even worry about the size of them and all that stuff. That's irrelevant. It means absolutely nothing, because at the end of the day, the rise is going to go to the Israelites, and it's the house of Judah that's going to be gathered from the 4 corners of the earth. So there'll be no one ahead of us after this Gentile world falls. This is it. I can't wait either. I want to be with my people in the Holy Land. And I want to wake up every day and look at Israelites. That's what I want. And be the family that we never got to be. I really want that. I really, truly want it. But you're not wrong for feeling the way that you do. It's been so long. But I just wanted to show you what was going on out there in the islands right now. It's Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands that are going to be hit. They still haven't really given a clear direction of where Maria is going to go after it passes those islands. I don't know if it's going to just coast, ride up the East Coast, or it's going to slam and make landfall somewhere in the U.S. I do want to find that out, because actually once it started reaching the Bahamas and places like that, it's not too far off from the United States. Well, yeah, CK, when they die, remember this, when they die, all of the evil will die with them. The evil's going to go with them. Their death means that's less evil in the world. Once they're gone, there is no more evil in the world. The evil will die with them. And we'll finally have the peace on earth that we have never seen before. It'll finally be here. Exactly, Just Glowing. That's exactly what you got to do. You know, that's exactly what you got to do. And if you are tired and frustrated, let the Most High know. You know, he said to seek his face. So seek his face. Let him know how you feel. You want the Gentiles gone? Let them know you want them gone. That's what you got to do. Yeah, so am I, Jalen. I want that so badly. Like I said, I just want to wake up and see nothing but Hebrews throughout my entire day. I don't want to see anyone else. Good afternoon, Sister Winfield. You know, it's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. Even I feel it, but I try my best to keep enduring, because the ones that will make it are those that will endure to, you know, into the very end. But keep seeking his face as much as you can, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, I'm there. You know, I looked at 3 different models, Jalen. One was hitting a few states on the East Coast, and some where it was just going to ride alongside of the East Coast and not hit anything over here. So, but they still said they really don't know, because they're getting different things from the computer model. So we'll see. You know, we have a few more days before it will reach the US, probably about a good 4 to 5 days before it reaches the US. Oh yeah, you have to. I mean, that's what he tells us. He tells us to seek his face, Just Glowing, and that's what we're supposed to do. He knows how we feel. You're not going to say anything to him that he doesn't even already know in advance. He knows how we are sick of these devils. He knows it. What is the 5th scroll? Nice if I could write. They are, Lord Maul. They really are. I know. You know, I feel the same way. I'm like, I don't even want to look at them anymore. I'm sick of them. I'm so sick of them. I don't even want to look at them. If I can go a day without looking at one of them, to me, that's a good day. I'm not kidding you. That's a good day. Woo, if I can go one day without seeing one of them, that's a beautiful day. Thank you, Maestro K. Welcome, welcome. But, you know, nevertheless, if you get a chance, listen to that book. That book is filled with judgment. And it's the kind of judgment you want to hear, because it talks about the destruction of our enemies. Yeah, remember, like a drunken sword and be dripping with blood. Like I said, we're going to see them dead in ways we never seen. They said it's going to be things happening in this world we never seen before. And we're literally seeing that now. I mean, look at Mexico. Mexico had an 7.1 earthquake about 2 weeks ago. And then the very next day after they had the earthquake, Hurricane Katia made landfall in Mexico. And then a week later, after Hurricane Katia, they're having a second major earthquake of 7.1. When have we ever seen something like that before? Seriously, when have we seen it? We haven't even seen a hurricane take the exact same path like Irma and Maria. We are seeing things we never seen before. Absolutely, we are. Oh, absolutely, CK. We're not supposed to even fear dying at all. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna see where they are in this forecast. It looks like Maria made it to Puerto Rico last night, and it's supposed to be moving out I think sometime this afternoon, and then going towards the Bahamas, and then we'll see what happens from there. Hi, Running Stream. Okay. Ooh, man.
For the next couple of days, will it impact the U.S.? Will it not? And also, is there anything behind Maria that could also impact this area? Let's go to Dr. Greg Porcel with more answers on that.
Paul, thank you very much. The good news is down the road, it looks like we're going to be quieting down in parts of the tropics, especially in the Caribbean where you are. I think there's going to be a break, at least after Maria goes away. You'll have some time to recover from that. Let's look at the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center. 140 mile per hour in the wind speed, Cat 4, pressures up to 930 millibars. We'll see. Reconnaissance will be in there later.
They're not
on.
even talking
And,
about Hurricane Lee. So I really don't think that hurricane is a threat at all, because they're just not talking about it at all.
There it goes, right on the cone toward the northwest and ultimately north in that way. We think the center will likely pass somewhere inside of that during the next several days, probably bypassing Dominican Republic significantly, leaving the hurricane force winds offshore, I believe. And the hurricane force winds may brush parts of the Turks and Caicos. We'll see. It's going to be a close call, but I would submit that they might likely be off toward the east-northeast. That would be good news there, but still peripheral impacts, gusty winds, and big surf rip currents all up and down the east coast as Maria begins to move northward over the weekend and next week. That leaves folks in the mid-Atlantic and the northeast to pay close attention to the future progress of Maria, because it may not be done for good.
Yes, Maestro K, it made landfall.
There's mixed messages
in Mexico last week. It's already made landfall. In fact, it was the very next day after they had their major earthquake, the first one, the 8.1. The next day, Hurricane Katia made landfall.
Owing to its interaction with Puerto Rico. We'll just have to see. But right now, we're left with lots of destruction, I think. Notice that none of these places are reporting any winds. That's testimony to the fact that they've been destroyed by that wind. 58 mile per hour sustained wind on the south shore there. And that is showing you that it's got still a pretty broad circulation. So let's move that northern part of the circulation toward the northwest, Turks and Caicos, by later on tomorrow and on Friday morning. There it is. Again, according to this model, probably moving it just north of them, limiting the impact severely on the wind side of it, but certainly bringing some big waves and some erosion from the beaches and the high surf there. But the southeast coast, Florida, you're looking pretty good, but farther to the north, pay attention to future movement. And Maria, we'll be right back.
You might take something for your heart, your joints, or your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you, your brain. With an ingredient originally found in jellyfish, Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide. Prevagen, the name to remember.
There were so many issues in my bag.
Pretty much had shut me down.
I couldn't even stand up straight.
Wow,
After
okay.
going to Laser Spine Institute, I can't tell you how much happier I am.
After years of living with chronic back pain, I finally found the answer.
Call Laser Spine Institute.
Yeah, I just think Lee just kind of went, over the ocean. I don't think it's a threat to anything. Because like I said, they're not even talking about Lee. So I don't think that's any threat.
Spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic spine conditions. Call today for your no-cost MRI review.
After surgery, I was so surprised that I could walk the next day and walk without pain. It was amazing.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-800-817-BACK now for your no-cost MRI review.
Calling Laser Spine Institute was the best decision I've ever made.
I can let my 3-year-old run and play, and they help me get my life back.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
We received an emergency call. There had been a shooting.
2 counts of murder have been filed against Lyle and Eric Menendez.
All over true crime, the Menendez murders. Premieres Tuesday
Oh
on
man, they
NBC.
get a movie out of that, the Menendez murders. Okay.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies.
Okay.
Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms. Thursday, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is
You have to
possible.
wonder
High
about that,
86.
Jalen. Especially when you see Mexico taking
Here's our
such
seven-day
major
outlook.
hits. It's got to be some judgment in there, and even with these islands, people said there's a lot of idolatry and witchcraft and things like that on the islands, and you have to wonder,
If you feel like you're abandoned, you are
just looking at that, it's got to be some type of judgment on them right now.
Come to a complete stop. Recalculating. In 1 mile.
That's one thing I'm sick and tired of looking at. One thing about America, they keep pushing the interracial couple. And I get sick and tired of every time I watch one of the commercials, whenever I do decide to watch mainstream media, they always got some black man with a white woman or some white man with a black woman. And I get sick of looking at that. We know what they're doing.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Gummies. They don't taste chalky and work fast.
Incredible. Can I try? She doesn't have heartburn.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Gummies. Enjoy the relief.
Crashing it all right now. I need a miracle. Hurry now. I need a miracle. The issues we care about can wait.
Yes, absolutely, Mickey Briggs. The judgment is definitely real. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it just seems like ever since we went through the eclipse, it's been non-stop judgment. And it's just back to back. And I'm just telling you, if this is happening now, can you imagine what's going to happen when we get to the winter months? The kind of blizzards and all kinds of crazy storms that are going to be going on in the country then?
And it could be, get this, 4 to 6 months before electricity is fully restored.
Wow.
to some
4 to
areas.
6 months,
Incredible.
Puerto Rico can
Let's
be
get to
without
this on
power.
what is
Oh,
happening in
man.
Maria and where it
Woo.
is right now.
But I
Taking
understand
you
how
back to
that's
that
happening
landfall,
because they
taking
didn't
place
even
again
get
early
the
this morning
power
right
back
around
on from
6:15.
Irma.
Yabucoa That was the area that saw the eye wall
Four-
work its way on
4
through.
to 6
Category
months
4
with
hurricane
no
at the time
power
with
in Puerto Rico.
155-mile-per-hour winds. That central pressure sitting at 917 millibars. Here's where it stands right now. In the center of the circulation now looks like it's moving offshore at this point, north and east, or north and west, I should say, of San Juan.
You know,
itself.
it's really
Right now stands a
unfortunate, but you know,
Category
you got to
4
think
hurricane.
about
Winds are
it.
at 140 miles per
There
hour.
are some
Winds
of our
estimated to be in
people
that
on
range,
those
moving
islands,
now to
no
the
doubt
west
about it.
at 12 miles
But
per hour.
there
That
are an
general northwest
awful
motion
lot of these
should continue
Hispanics
here
that
for us,
hate
at least
on
in the near
us.
term.
And
do
we
still
know
have
this
hurricane
is true.
warnings that are up.
That many
The
of them
Virgin Islands
are
as well,
just
Puerto Rico,
as
also the north
racist
coast
as
of
your
the
average
Dominican
white
Republic,
person,
and then
and
heading over towards the
they're
Turks
going
and
to pay
Caicos
for
and other
that.
parts of the southern
You know,
Bahamas
all
as
of
well,
these
under
people that are hating
hurricane
on us,
warnings
they are
at
going to
this
pay the
time. Where's it
price
going
for
to be
that.
heading? Looking
And
at, as I mentioned,
I think
towards
we're
the
looking
northwest,
at it
but then
now.
turning a bit more towards the north
4 to
as we
6
march our way
months
on
with
into
no
the weekend
electricity.
and into the
Woo,
early part
man.
of next week. There is some time for it to try to re-strengthen a bit. Remember, it rolled its way over Puerto Rico, over in mountainous terrain, disrupting it
And
a
I
bit.
just hope that our
So it came
people are
down
safe
just a bit in
there,
terms of
but you know, I
intensity. There's
understand
gonna be
why
some
these
time here
things
as it
have
moves
to
back over
happen.
the waters, warm waters, not a whole lot of shear in the
And
near term
the
for some
death
slight
toll
strengthening. But as we
in
move our way on
Mexico
through the
keeps
weekend,
going up.
expecting to see the shear
Last
levels
time I
on the
looked, it
increase,
was
so we could be looking at
200,
a
but
weakening
it's
system
still
at that point. But
rising
here's what's
because,
going
you know,
on
a
right
lot of
now.
those
There's a buoy
buildings
just
that
offshore
collapsed
with 58 mile per
during
hour
the
winds.
earthquake
Look at the rest of the
yesterday.
reporting sites.
People were in
This is
those
nothing showing
buildings,
up.
and they're trying to
Just
dig
an
those
indication
people
of how
out now.
strong the system was as it moved on through, destroying some of those areas. All right, so here we go with the tropical storm force winds.
Oh,
Looking for
really?
that to
Lawrence
potentially, of course,
Fishburne's
become one of
wife?
the earliest as we continue down the line, getting in towards the Turks and Caicos. Looks like later
America's
tonight
a
and
wicked
into early
place.
tomorrow,
What can
that's when
I
we could be
say?
experiencing those tropical storm force winds. All right, we have not forgotten about Jose, which continues to lurk off the East Coast, Chris.
All right, that's right, Alex.
Yeah,
Taking a
and you
look
know
here,
what, Maestro
earlier,
Kate, they're terrible
to
at hiding it.
Carolina,
I have
as
been
Jose is
around
turning off the
racist
East
Hispanics,
Coast,
and they
causing
are
rough
terrible
seas,
at hiding
like you
it.
see here. You can see the waves.
They're
have
worse at
already
hiding
eroded
it than
part
your
of the
average
beach. And
caucasoid.
coastal flood advisories are out for much of the East Coast as Jose makes its way northward. As of the latest advisory,
Yeah,
it's
they
about
pretty much
150
do.
miles
I
here
agree with
south
that,
of
Mickey
Nantucket.
Bricks,
So
because
it's staying offshore.
there's no doubt,
And again, the
you know,
motion
the
is now
places that are
northeast, so
all
it's
being
moving
hit, you
northeast
know, a
at
lot of
8
those
miles per
people
hour.
are
So
the
we'll keep it
same
off
ones
the
that have
coast,
been
even
hating
off
on
the
us
coast
for
of
many
Nantucket. But you can still
years.
see it's slowly weakening, still holding its own at a
Oh,
pretty
I
strong
didn't forget
tropical storm,
about
70
the
miles
winter,
per hour.
Jalen.
And
I
that
live up
pressure
in the
is still
Northeast, and
stabilized.
I've
It
seen
was
some
yesterday at
treacherous
976 millibars. So
snowstorms
the
up here.
visible satellite looking pretty healthy here as you see a broad swirl and a lot of cloud cover, some convective activity, especially on that northwest
Yeah,
side. And
many
we'll
of them
continue to
do.
churn
A
out
lot
over
of
the
these
open
groups do
waters. And
deny
because of
their
that, and those winds,
black,
and even some
and
light rain showers. We
I've
have
even
tropical storm
talked to
warnings and
people that
effects
were
here for
Puerto
places like
Rican,
Martha's Vineyard,
and they deny the
Provincetown,
black in them.
along the
But
Cape
they
Sound,
want to acknowledge the
Nantucket, and
white,
also
though.
Block Island,
They
Rhode Island. We're
definitely
under
want
tropical
to
storm
acknowledge that.
warning,
But when it comes
for
down
the
to the
next
obvious black
day or so.
that
All right,
you
so
see in them,
tropical storm
they
Jose,
deny
winds
it,
70 miles per hour path.
or
It
they
just
claim
really
it's not
meanders,
there.
really interesting.
But I
path
look
there,
at it
keeping
this
off the
way.
coast,
That's
but it's
okay
still
if
gonna
they claim
bear
it's not there. Then they
watching as
can
it's still gonna produce
endure
some
the
strong waves.
same
Take a look anywhere in those peaks.
ending
We have
that
waves
Esau
from 20 to
gets.
25
Remember,
feet, observations,
you
10
don't
to
have any
18
black
feet
in
there,
you.
just off the coast, and the waves are just going to kind of sit. So beach erosion and coastal flooding is still going to be a concern, especially for places
Yeah,
like
we
Martha's
know
Vineyard.
you. We
and
know you got a
Nantucket.
lot of black,
And then
Loretta.
past that, we're going to have to keep a close eye on Maria as we start to see waves moving into the Atlantic again, Alex. So it's something we'll have to watch closely.
All right, you know, Hurricane Maria carving a path of devastation across the Caribbean, and Puerto Rico isn't the only.
Yeah,
US
too many of them
territory
walk
dealing with
around and
Maria's
believe
wrath.
they're
We're
white,
gonna
but
have
a
the
lot of
latest
that
on the
has to
damage that's
do
just
with America labeling them as white. It has a lot to do with that too. That's why they now take on that attitude that they are white. So
all my channels live on this. So
you know,
I'm following the
it
game
has a
this
lot to do with how America classifies
I
people.
know.
They
Tiny
classify
field. I hate
people
tiny fields.
white
Try
when
this.
they are obviously not white.
That's the game. That's Dish.
Yeah, they are. Like I said, they're worse than hiding. You know, they do a worse job at hiding theirs than even than the average white person.
On your favorite devices. This
You can almost see it on the faces of Hispanics. You can look at them and see the hatred in their face, even when they're trying not to look at you that way. You can still see it.
One-time dark web scan completely free. Go to Experian.com/scan to see if your information is on the dark web. Then learn how Experian can help protect your identity.
Yeah, Loretta's pro-black.
Get your free dark web scan at
That's all she's been looking at her whole life
Experian.com/scan
is black
today.
people.
My daughter
better get
is
used to
studying to
it.
be a dentist, and she gave me advice. She said, Dad, go pro. with Crest Pro Health. Crest Pro Health protects all these areas dentists check most.
No, but that's okay.
Immediately,
You know,
I
all the
felt a
ones that are
difference. It
denying
did an
white,
extremely good
and
job
even
of treating.
the pro
4 out of
black,
5 dentists confirm these Pro Health products
even the
help maintain
coons
a
among
professional
us that are
clean.
pro white,
Go Pro
then
with
let them
Crest Pro
all
Health.
endure the
My
same
daughter
ending
inspired
that
me to
the
make a
House of
change.
Esau
Crest Pro
will
Health
feel.
really brought my
Take them
mouth
all
to the
with them.
next
I
level.
don't care.
Crest, healthy,
I
beautiful
mean, seriously,
smiles for
do
life.
you care?
You trap for
Then they all can die the same way that Esau's going to go.
Let's do this.
Plain
That
and
is made of
simple.
high-strength steel, which is less susceptible to punctures than aluminum.
The stronger, the better.
And best of all, this new truck is actually
Oh yeah, especially down there in Florida, those white cubes
Current
are
Chevy
horrible.
owners and lessees get a
I
total
understand
value
why
of
Fidel Castro
$10,600
did them the way
or
that he did.
0% financing
Those
for
people are
72
so
months
nasty.
on this Silverado All-Star. Find new roads at your local
And I
Chevy.
know how the
It's
Dominicans
been
have been
built
doing
over
the Haitians.
decades.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that
through
too.
35 years
I've
of
even
severe
seen,
weather,
some of
it's
the
strengthened
lynchings they did
into
on the
trust.
Haitian men.
Trust
Disgusting.
in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. Every season, every storm, every time you watch. Trust the Weather Channel.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, I need to file a claim. My central air stopped working and needs to be replaced.
Oh, sorry, your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover air conditioners.
So what do you cover?
Well, home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are.
Covered.
But not my air conditioner.
But his air conditioner would have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components
Well,
of 20
you know
other
what?
home systems and
They can
appliances, from
pretend
his
to be
electrical
something they're
system to
not.
his
But
water
like I
heater
said,
and
at the end of the day,
homeowners
all of
insurance
those that
can
are
cover what
walking
we have.
around claiming they're white, they just go down with the House of Esau.
Winning American Home Shield helps cover
We shouldn't
what
have
will
to care or worry about that.
Now the dryer
That's on them.
For a limited time, save $45 on an American Home Shield home warranty. Call 1-800-91-5616.
No, but we know that's Mickey
Be
Bricks.
sure
That's all
with the
part of the
Shield.
curses.
American Home
We know
Shield.
that. It's going to be that way,
You have
unfortunately.
not been forgotten. If you feel like you're abandoned, you are not.
No, and
We're still in this together.
people are
We're
going
going
to
to
hate us
continue to
that
give
we
you
never
coverage.
did
We're
a
going to
damn
get through
thing to
this.
them, but they're going to hate you anyway. But don't worry about those people. Those people will face
Currently
the
in our
judgment.
area, 80 degrees under sunny skies.
Oh, we're going to be coming back together because you know what? That's also
Today,
part
sunny
of
to partly
prophecy.
cloudy. A stray
So,
shower or thunderstorm
It may
is
be
possible.
hard to
High
believe now, but
85.
we will be united. It's going to get so bad, it's going to
Tonight,
force us
scattered
back together.
thunders. Thursday, partly cloudy.
I
A
know
stray
it's so
shower
hard
or
to believe
thunderstorm
we've
is
been through
possible.
so much
High
and we still
86.
have not come together like we really should have.
Here's our 7-day outlook.
No, I don't either. I don't either. You know, if I look at it this way, Mickey Briggs, if Coons and all of these other groups that obviously got black features want to claim they don't, then
overnight.
hey, you know
We
what?
had some big time
Then the
winds
Most
whipping
High
on
should look at
through.
them
Some
the way they
palm
want
trees
to
that
be
were taking
looked
shape there.
as white.
President Trump
So
approved
just
federal
wipe them on
emergency
out.
assistance for the U.S. Virgin
I'm
Islands a
not
bit
going to worry
earlier
about them.
this week.
You're not
Things
gonna
have improved a
change
bit
these people
there,
at this
but
point.
still tracking Maria.
We have
Which is
been
now
through
just
this for
emerging off the coast of
centuries,
Puerto Rico.
and
Still, though, some big
these
impacts
folks
that are
aren't
being
gonna
felt
change
there.
now.
They'll
They're
have to
just
watch
not.
a little bit farther down down
And
the
I
line
could care
towards
less whether
the
they
Dominican
do or not,
Republic,
whether they
and then
see the
getting up
light or
towards the
not.
Turks and
That's
Caicos,
on
maybe
them.
southern Bahamas as well. Here's the latest here. National Hurricane Center 11 o'clock advisory. Winds
I
around
don't know
140
too many of
miles
us
per hour.
are
Category
trying to
4
recruit
hurricane
a coon.
moving to the northwest at
I
12
just-
miles per hour.
I just don't
This
see
thing
it.
as it moved its way over Puerto Rico, disrupting it just a bit. So lost a bit of its edge. Saying that, though, is not a whole lot because this thing was so powerful that even losing a bit of its edge, it's still a very destructive hurricane at this point. So
Yeah.
hurricane warning still in place.
You know, I
We're
was
across Puerto
listening
Rico,
to
sliding across the
Cap.
north
I was
case-
listening
north coast, I
to
should say, of the Dominican
Dawa
Republic, and then there you have
probably
hurricane
like
warnings
a
there,
month
including
ago
the Turks and Caicos,
on
and
Facebook
the southeast
Live. Every
coast
now
of
and
the
then I can
Bahamas.
catch him on
Expected to
Facebook
continue to move
Live,
towards the north and the west here,
and he said
then
his
turn
son
towards more of a northerly
is
direction as
dating
we
an
move our way
Italian
to the end of the
girl.
weekend
Now
into the
you
weekend.
know
seeing
how
it losing a little
militant
bit more of its edge here as it
Dawa
moves its way
is,
northbound,
right?
expecting the
He
wind
was
shear
like,
to be a little bit
hell
stronger
no.
as it moves
Oh,
northbound. So
hell
that'll be some better
no.
news. But tropical storm force winds,
Oh my
you can see the
God.
earliest potential onset of that taking place here
It
for us later this
happens. I
evening
mean,
across
look,
the island of
we
Hispaniola,
all
the central
know,
areas
you know,
there,
our
maybe even
family,
crossing
a
over
lot
towards
of them are
Haiti,
not going to
and then
make it.
heading
We know
into the
this
Turks and
already.
Caicos, southern Bahamas as we approach tomorrow morning. So still a lot to track here with Maria. Chris?
All right, Alex. Rescuers are racing to find any more survivors of Tuesday's devastating
Yeah,
7.1
unfortunately, many of
magnitude
them are,
earthquake
and they're
in
going to
Mexico.
stay
Right
corrupt
now, the
and
death toll
poisoned
stands
and
at more than 200 killed
all the
across
way
3
to the bitter
states.
end.
That number
There
includes
are
25
some
people
people you're
killed
just not
at
going
an
to
elementary
convince them
school
that
in
the white man
Mexico
is their
City.
real true enemy.
And
They
this is the
want to
second
believe that
major
we can
earthquake to
still
strike
have
Mexico
kumbaya
this month.
moments and
NBC's
hold
Steve
hands
Patterson has
with
the
them, and
latest from Mexico
everything's going to
City.
be all right.
Well, right now, this
And it
is a
just
race
simply
against
ain't gonna
time with
happen.
crews and
But
rescue
you can't tell
operations
them that.
around Mexico
They're
City
hell
and
bent
throughout the
on
state
believing it,
system here in this part of Mexico.
you know, and there's nothing we can do about that. I mean, if you really think about it, do you want a coon in the kingdom chasing after the handmaidens and servants? because that's what their stupid behinds would do. You know, instead of being part of the Hebrew family, they'd be running after Becky, the handmaiden. You know, you don't need that. They gotta go. And they're going to have to go anyway, because really think about it, you know, once this all ends, Black people can't be slaves anymore. Remember, that's it. This is the end, the very, very end of any enslavement, Hebrew enslavement on the earth. So they're going to have to die. There's no other option. They can't live, because they can't live and be put back into slavery. There'll be no more slavery once the house of Esau falls. Not for us. No, and to be honest with you, Mickey Bricks, I don't want to see them. No defense, but I don't want to see them there. You know, the swirling has gotten so bad. I was reading some of these swirlers, Black men and women that are doing this, are now telling their white spouses they're Black people. I kid you not. They're telling their white counterpart, spouse or husband, that they're Black. Like, oh man. Yeah, they're really doing that now. Well, there's welcome, love the truth. Right now it's in the islands, and they have all types of different models, and some of the models are saying it's just going to pass by the East Coast. And then I looked at a few other models that claim it might make landfall, so they're really not going to have a good projection until it passes through the islands, and then they'll pretty much know. No, I've been hearing that lately. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been like that all through the history. You know, even during the Exodus, remember, there were some of our people that were with Egyptian women. I mean, look, Moses had a wife that was Egyptian. So it happens. You have, you know, like I said, when our people left Egypt, there were some Shemite, Hamite children leaving too in the pack. So it will happen. Well, I know, Cap, it's too much of it as far as I'm concerned. Too much. And our people that get caught up in it, they just never will learn. And if you remember in the news, there have been quite a few swirlers that have been killed by the cops as well. Yeah, Maestro K. I used to live over in Europe. Yes, there are a lot of melanated people in the UK. Remember, they enslaved in the UK as well. Blacks were enslaved in the UK. So yes, there are a lot of melanated people there. I'm not surprised. You know, you would think the South would be more indifferent to it, but the fact that so much of it go on down there is sickening. Yeah, I personally, I don't know why the black men or women chase them. I really don't get it. I don't get it. They have to be some of the most unappealing people on the face of the earth. I don't know why anybody wants to date them. You know, I guess it's all of the people that believe the hype that they are the standard of beauty. They're not. You know, the only reason why they get away with that is because they own the media. And that's the only reason why they get away with it. Yeah, they're boring. And I don't feel that you know, the reason why I don't talk to very many of them is because I just don't feel like I have anything in common with them. You know, after everything they've done to our people, what do we really have in common? We have nothing in common. That's why I don't get it. Yeah, I've seen that in the workplace too. Um, you know, I don't care. I look, that's your business, whatever. But I mean, really think about it. When you come across those people, whether it's a black woman that's swirling or a black man, you ever notice they're not real likable people among black folks anyway? They're not. Those are not the people that really pull your attention anyway. Yeah, me either, Mickey Bricks. I don't even bother with those people. I don't, they're not interesting to me. A lot of them are brainwashed over there as well, Maestro K. When I was over there, many of them are very brainwashed. just like they are here. You know, they think their woman with dog hair and lice is the best woman to have. So what are you going to do? The women too, they think that smelly caveman is the best man to have. Well, they can go right ahead. You know what, Maestro K? They all have a choice. You know, all of our people have a choice, but when they choose Gentile, you can tell they're heavily influenced by what the media has done. You know, the media has told them there is, you know, this devil is the best thing on earth. And we know they're not. They're a very mediocre group of hybrids. They're not smart. The only reason why they made it to the top is because, number one, the Most High allowed it. And number two, they bullied their way to the top and cheated their way. But they didn't do anything on their own. It was just a form of punishment for us. And they'll find out soon enough they've been used. He was just using them to get us straightened up. And, you know, there's no need for that now because a lot of us are woken up. So there's no need to keep a racist on this planet anymore. They're obsolete. That's why they got to go. There's no future. What do we need to move into a future into the kingdom with a bunch of races around? There was a need for it years ago. Now there's not. You know, as we get closer and closer to the end, if that's all they got to offer to the world, then they should go. No, and they never will. That's the thing. They never will. If we took them, if we all went into the kingdom together, they would still be clinging on to us for everything like they do now. Remember, I mean, it's already prophesied. The Most High is cutting them off. The house of Esau gets cut off forever. Okay, forever. That means there is nothing left for them on this planet but slavery and death. That's it. There is nothing more for them to do. They sure as hell won't be running things. Their running thing days are completely gone. So they better enjoy it while they can. And remember, they're going to be made to give all of their wealth to us at the end. They got to give it all to us. You ain't got to worry about no reparations. When we leave out of here, we sure as hell won't be broke. Far from it. Well, they are useless, just glowing. That's why they're being phased out. There's no need for them to be around anymore. The punishment on us has been accomplished. There's no need in them being around. The earthquake in Japan. Oh, it's nothing new. Japan has a lot of earthquakes, actually. So. Yeah. I got 2 big bottles of wine. They're big. Loving the Truth, and I'm saving them babies. I said, when it really looked like the destruction is on, I'm going to be cracking them things open. No, Lord Maul, I'm going further than that. All of my slaves got to have at least one black eye that's owed to me. I got to get one black eye in on all of them. Every one going to have at least one black eye. They can choose which one they want me to do, the left or right, but they going to all have You'll know when you're on my plantation, every slave with a black eye. And I'm going to make mine greet me just like a dog greets you. You know how you leave your house and you come back and your dog's always excited to see you? Well, when I leave my plantation and come back, they're going to be jumping around all excited to see me while I proceed to kick their ass. They're going to be forced to be excited every time they see me, just like a dog. Oh yeah, their judgment is harsh. See, that's why a lot of churches, believe it or not, Loving the Truth, have stopped teaching out of the book of Revelations because of the judgment that's in there. They won't even teach it. In fact, even a lot of the Baptist, the Black Baptist churches, they won't even teach Revelation anymore. They don't even get into that because so many people are afraid of that judgment. You have lime juice. You're gonna burn yours up, huh? Woo! And I'm not gonna be on slave patrol outside. I'm not doing that. All I'm gonna do, Leonard, I'm gonna set a guillotine, like 2 of them outside. That's gonna be my slave patrol. I'm gonna set up 2 guillotines outside. And I'm just going to walk away. I'm not going to be on slave patrol. So they know if they do anything wrong, somebody's going to the guillotine. There's no need to pay anybody to watch over them. Get a couple of guillotines and maybe even a few lions. Just put them out there. Plant them right out there. You don't need no more patrolling. 2 lions and 2 guillotines. There we go. That's my phone. Okay. Bag of limes. That's right. Yeah, a lot of them won't talk about it. Even in the Black church, they don't do revelations anymore. Everybody's afraid of that judgment that's in there. Oh, I got all kinds of plans, all kinds of plans. In fact, when I feed them, you know how they gave us pig? When we weren't supposed to have pig, we weren't supposed to have sugar and all that stuff. So you know how they sell cans of dog food? I'm going to have cans of slave food. It's going to be packaged just like dog food. And that's what they're going to eat every day. I told you, I got big plans, big plans. I'm going to have cans of slave food, and they can have chicken flavored and liver flavored. But that's what they gonna eat every day. They ain't getting nothing but canned dog food. Canned dog food every day. Hot lead and lemon lime gun. Yeah, they gonna eat it, and they better like it. It's gonna be packaged just like you see dog food on the shelf. It's gonna be slave food. And then every now and then I'll sit outside with my food, my homemade food, and eat it right in front of them. And have my nice cool drink right in front of them while they sit there and enjoy their slave food, packaged like dog food. And I got all kinds of plans. And the Lake of Fire, I'm just going to go to the Lake of Fire with ice cubes. And I'm hold my hand over the Lake of Fire and say, who wants some ice? Give them Loretta's food. No. Even the food I give my pets. We had pets back in, our ancestors had pets. And our pets were blinging. Our pets were wearing gold collars and everything. That's okay. No. Even Loretta's food is going to be better than what I feed them. Look, they fed us slop and all kinds of things we weren't supposed to have. So they're going to get packaged slave food that looks very much like the dog food that you see on the shelf. That's what they're getting. Natural plants from woo. And she eats 9 lives. Oh, give them 9 lives. Yeah, Cap, that's the thing, we can have the slave Olympics, and we give them some super soakers and let them soak each other up with lime juice and then burn. Both sides burn. Yeah, slave Olympics. Slave Olympics. Jalen, I thought about that too, but it's prophesized they get double of what we had. Remember, they have to be the handmaidens and servants, and we did 500 years. They got to do 1,000. In the beginning, when I first started thinking about it, I was like, I don't want them around at all. But hey, as time went on, I changed my mind and let them be there. They're not going to be a problem to us anymore. They only have 1,000 years. And after that, this will be a 100% Hebrew world. Yeah, I mean, they're not full human. That's why they wrote that 3/5 of a human being in their constitution. They know they weren't human. They put their label on us, and they took our human label and put it on themselves. But they really can't put that on themselves, because you look at them, number one, they burn out in the sun. and number two, they just can't do things the same exact way that we do it. All they can do is imitate it as close as possible, but they never do it quite as well. Even when they sing, I know a lot of people say, well, they sing like not really. One thing I notice when they try to sing like Black people, they sound more breathy than Black people do. Just take a close listen to them when they sing. They sound a lot more breathy. It's a knockoff, but not quite the same. Pagan strips. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, there's no humanity in them, because if there was, you wouldn't see them doing the kind of things that they do to us. They were used to punish us, but they were never supposed to kill us. See, they went overboard and started doing whatever they wanted. The Bible goes over a specific way that you're supposed to handle your slaves. And they just completely disregarded that and did what they wanted, and they killed us when they weren't supposed to. So that's why the judgment is on them the way that it is. And even to this day, centuries later, you still see them killing us for stupid things. And then telling you it was justified. Get out of here. None of that mess is justified. We'll see how justified it is when the table finally turns on them. And I started reading about what the Chinese are doing to the Jamaicans right now. And they're catching all kinds of hells from the Chinese, and a lot of the Jamaicans are working for Chinese people, and the Chinese people aren't even paying them. They're promising them to pay them a certain amount of wage, and when they expect to get paid, the Chinese people in Jamaica aren't paying them. And now, a lot of Chinese are flocking into Jamaica. But see, you got to run them people out. Just like in Africa, they got to be ran out. To be honest with you, I really don't want to go to Africa with them in there. I know Phil has been talking about Africa, and that's all fine and good. I would love to go to Africa, but I don't want to be there and look at them. They got to go. Right, Mickey Bricks, they're not human. They're hybrids. Yeah, it don't take much for them to burn. And Jalen, that's proof right there. They could never have been out from sun up to sundown doing the same work that our ancestors did. They would have eventually died. The sun would have completely killed them. And remember, when our people were on plantations, there was no sunscreen. It was only the melanated people that could be out there and were strong enough to endure the hot sun and work. They would never have been able to do it. Just watching them burn should tell you alone, they would never have been able to do all of the labor that our people did. Mm-hmm. And they still can't do it. Just watch the ones that do outside work. Every so many hours, they got to go back in. They got to go in. They can't even stay out there all day, even when they have work, like along a highway and stuff. They constantly keep getting into their trucks and everything. They don't stay out there for hours and hours. They can't. They can't do it. Yeah, and see, they're all in Africa. The Chinese are all in Africa, and now they're heavily in Jamaica. They said they are pouring into Jamaica nonstop. They need to get their asses ran off of that island. Yeah, they know they deserve the judgment coming their way, Leonard. I do believe that. I definitely believe that. They know. They just don't know when it's coming. But I think their spirit knows it is coming. Well, to be honest with you, Just Glowing, none of us are going to mellow out until we see some real true justice up in here. And that's the problem. That's why we can't really settle and be calm and all that stuff, because we have not gotten the justice that we deserve. You know, and we're going to always feel that way until we get it. Yeah, they all need to get out of there, you know. And I'm sorry, you know, if I ever had to leave this country and go back over there or go there to live, I'm sorry, I don't want them there. To me, it would be counterproductive to leave one place filled with them and then go to another. No, they got to go. They got to be made to leave. None that I know of. The only one that was not taking a bunch of crap from white people was Gaddafi in Libya. And you've seen what they did to him. They killed him off. But those were really the only two nations that were very open about how much they did not like all of these devils, you know. But as far as the rest of them, no. And maybe South Africa, you know, many in South Africa. Yeah, well, they can try all they want, but you know what, Mickey Bricks, the House of Moab is going to be completely wiped out. They're going to be completely wiped out. They're not even allowed to come into the kingdom, even as a handmaiden or servant. They got to be wiped out completely. So for them, it is really the end of the road. Yeah. You know what I love? Cap, do you know Bob Marley Redemption Song? I love that. Let me see if I can find that. Now I want to hear it. Woo, man. Got that on my mind. Let's see. Wow. I haven't heard that song in a long time. You know, I didn't know he lived in Delaware here in the United States until I started reading his autobiography. I had no idea Bob Marley lived in Delaware. Oh, yeah. Now that was nice. Like I said, some of these I haven't heard in a long time. I really need to sit down and listen to some of this stuff again. Yeah, I love that. That's that's the thing of beauty about Mugabe. He don't give a damn about their crying and their complaining. He takes those farms away from them like it's nothing. And he already said blacks will not go to jail for killing whites. Oh man, he got those people so fired up over there in Africa. Oh my goodness. I tell you, that's the one thing I'm glad to see. I never thought any leader in Africa would be that way. You know, he lets them know they can't use their white privilege with him. He don't give a damn about it. Oh yeah, Robert Mugabe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got them all crying for farms. But you know what? He's right. They stole that land when they went over, just like they did everywhere in the world. Everywhere they went, they stole land, and the bottom line is, how do you say the land belongs to you and you didn't buy the land, you have no deed for the land, you just got the land because at that time, it was Rhodesia, it was not Zimbabwe at that time, and it was ran by whites. And they just freely gave land to any white person that wanted land. And in many cases, they ran the black people that were already on the land off the land and stole it from them. And many of them got killed if they refused or resisted when the land was being taken away. He knows a lot of people lost their lives over those white people stealing the land over in Zimbabwe. That's why he's like, no. If you get killed in the process, oh well, nobody's going to jail over killing whites. And man, they hate that. They are waiting and waiting and waiting for Mugabe to die. They want that man gone. But Mugabe is not a dumb person. He already got everything set up for the time when he leaves. It's still going to be a black controlled country. You best believe that. That man ain't stupid. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Bob Marley got so many great songs. I was even looking at Exodus. I see that one in here too. This man he was ahead of his time. And he loved his people so much. You know what he used to do, Cap? He would just randomly do free concerts all the time in Jamaica because he knew people in his country could not always afford the tickets. So he would just do a free concert here and there just so his people would be able to enjoy his music. How many artists do you know today, even in America, that do a lot of free concerts? Virtually none, not many. But he's the one artist that did it for Jamaicans, and he did it many times. And he did not worry about the money or getting paid. That's something. It's just one of them. you know, and even his kids don't even have the same spirit that he did. All right, y'all. I'm so glad you all came. I really enjoyed this time with you. And believe me, we'll do it again. I'm going to try to do at least one hangout a week, not unless something major happens where I may do more than one. But as you know, Friday, I don't always do videos on Friday. But if I can, you know, do one or a few of them in the evening, then I will post them Thursday night and then just publish them on Friday. But you all have a good day, and we'll be doing this again next week. Peace, family.